I've got a quick favour to ask you before we get going today. You may have noticed that Love in Life has always been completely ad-free, and I would really love to keep it that way. So instead of adding sponsors and ads, I have set up a super easy way for you to support the show for less than one Starbucks a month. As a thank you, you'll also get my Monday morning pep talk, a short exclusive audio drop every Monday morning to give you a bit of inspiration for the week ahead. Sometimes it will be a little energy reset or a bit of a motivation boost. It's such a small way to give back, but it makes such a difference to me. And it just means that I can keep pouring my heart and soul into this podcast for you. Before we go into today's episode, I just want to thank the first of you who have already generously signed up. It means so much. So whether you just want to support the show and thank me, or maybe you want a bit of Monday morning Lisa talk, you can either click on the link in the show notes, or if you listen on Apple, you can simply click on one of the episodes that already has a little padlock on it. Thank you so much. Now let's get on with today's episode. Welcome to Love in Life, a guide to a positive mindset. I'm your host, Lisa. I'm a mindset and energy coach, and each week you'll discover mindset shifts, energy practices, and real life tools to help you feel more confident, calm, and in flow, because you deserve to love the life you're creating. I'm so glad you're here with me. Let's get going on today's episode. Welcome to this week's episode of Love in Life. Thank you for returning if you have listened before. If you are brand new, hi, I'm Lisa. I'm a mindset coach and energy healer. And we talk lots about, day-to-day things that can help you live a more positive life. So before we get going on today's episode, I, as always, just want to take a look and see who had the largest amount of downloads last week. And last week, that was Sydney, closely followed by Indianapolis. So thank you so much, guys, for spreading the positivity. If you can think of one person who you can share this podcast with, I would be so, so grateful. So I want to start by asking you a question today. When was the last time you did something just because it lights you up? Not for the kids, not for work, just because you wanted to, because it felt like it would bring you joy. The reason why I'm asking this is because I know that so many women, especially the women that I work with, the answer is I can't even remember. And it's not because they don't want joy or creativity or hobbies or ease. In fact, they do want ease. People come to me looking for an easier life, feeling lighter. But it's because they have nailed putting everybody else first, managing everybody else's needs before their own. And these women, myself included sometimes, put everybody else first before them. So, and I do see this all the time. I see women, and I know a lot of my friends are like this as well, women who are trying so hard to feel organised, on top of life, time blocking their calendars, juggling school runs, trying to squeeze in work in between, after school clubs, family time, jobs at home. And in theory, on paper, they're doing everything right. But something still feels off. It feels heavy. It feels overwhelming. It feels like they're living life for everyone else, but not really living for themselves. So that's what we want to talk about today. So something that many women don't realise is that it's not the schedule that is the problem. It's not that you're unorganised and can't manage your time. It's the belief beneath the schedule. The belief that your time has to be justified earned, traded for somebody else's comfort. Like, I know that I've talked about that on here in the past, where I struggled to sit still. I struggled to take time out for myself to just do nothing. And I do think it's something that so many women struggle with. I have a theory for why, and maybe I'll go into that later, but we have a belief that we have to be productive. We have a belief that having hobbies and passions are extras instead of an essential part of who we are. And this is where the work that I do with my clients comes in. This is what we do. You don't need a better planner. You don't need a stricter routine. You don't need to organise your time better. You need to understand the root of why you don't feel able or allowed to prioritise yourself. So if this is resonating with you, we're going to talk about why time blocking alone doesn't work for you, or isn't maybe not working for you. And what's really going on underneath that sense of overwhelm and self-neglect. Because essentially that is what it is. You are neglecting your needs. And I'm also going to share how I help my clients get to the root of this, because the solution isn't more structure. It's more self-care. I know, even going back to my self-care episodes, they resonated with so many of you. I had so many messages about people realising that they were not prioritising their self-care. And this is very much linked to that. So I want to paint a scene for you, and it would be really interesting to see how many of you have a little chuckle at this, because I think this will resonate with so many people. But let me paint the scene. It's a Tuesday morning, or whatever day it might be for you. You've already been awake longer than you'd like to admit. Not because you were doing something for yourself, but because the day started before you did. School uniforms were almost dry. Someone couldn't find their PE kit. The dog needed letting out. This is literally my morning. And your brain was already mentally time blocking the entire day before you even touched your coffee. By the time you drop the kids off, you're already thinking about the after school clubs, the dinner you haven't planned yet, and the emails you know are waiting. And at some point, maybe in the car, maybe whilst stirring the pasta later, you'll tell yourself, right, I need to get more organised. I need a better system. I'm going to properly time block my calendar this week. And so you sit there in the evening with your planner, your highlighters, maybe your Google Calendar open, and the whole week gets colour coded. School runs in green, work in blue, clubs in purple, meals in yellow. And you look at it and think, yes, this is the week that I finally get it together. But where's the colour for you? There's not one single block or line that says you time, that says joy, that says rest, that says that is something that lights you up. And it's not that you don't want it. It's just that every time you could put something in for yourself, you hesitate. Oh, I'll do that after the kids go to bed. But by then you're exhausted. I'll read my book after work, but use that time to tidy the kitchen instead. You'll go for a walk on Wednesday, but Wednesday is the day that everything ends up getting rescheduled. Maybe you sit down for 5 minutes and suddenly you feel guilty, like resting is lazy. Resting is taking time from somebody else. And then somebody asks you, what do you do for fun? And your mind goes blank. Not because you don't want fun, but because you can't remember the last time you did something for yourself just because it lights you up. Not for the kids, not for work, not for your partner, not because it was worthwhile or productive. Just because it was for you. I'd love you to put your hand up, even though I can't see you. Put your hand up if you have ever thought that before. I just need to get more organised. So many of us default to planners, colour coding, time blocking, which is great, don't get me wrong, but that's not necessarily the issue. The calendar is a great tool, time blocking is a great tool to manage the chaos, because we've all got chaos in our lives. It's great to manage the chaos, but it doesn't necessarily create calm. It doesn't fix the problem. And the truth is that better organisation doesn't fix inner exhaustion. Like, we just think we need to be more organised. If your calendar looks organised but your mind still feels overwhelmed, that is not a time issue. It's an emotional and energetic issue. So earlier on, I touched upon that I had a theory for why this happens. So have a listen to this. Here, let me know what you think. Why do we struggle to prioritise ourselves as women? So I truly believe that most of us have had good girl conditioning. I know I have. I'm the eldest daughter. I'm the eldest child in the family and a daughter. So I had a responsibility to be helpful, which is being good, obviously. But this being good leads to a self-sacrifice. And then we become conditioned to believe that rest is lazy. Saying no makes us feel guilty. And then we've also got motherhood programming. So when we become parents, when we become mums, we put everybody else first. And that comes easily to us because we've been doing this since childhood. But we tell ourselves that our kids' needs have to come before our own. Which, of course, our kids have to be a priority. But this leads us to feeling like self-care is selfish, or that we have to earn it. Like, we have to have a really bad day to be able to warrant saying that we need time to ourselves. And then we have the worthiness wound. So feeling like you have to deserve rest. Only adding your own time to your calendar when everything else is done. Like, what if we sorted out ourselves first, our own needs first, to enable us to look after everybody else? Like, we've all heard that phrase, and I actually hate this phrase, but I'm going to say it. You can't pour from an empty cup. Like, you have to fill your own cup. I don't know why. I have a real issue with that phrase, but it's very relevant to this. But if you have a worthiness wound, then you might have beliefs such as, my needs don't matter, I should be productive, and I need to keep everybody happy. And what I do with my clients is find out where those beliefs have come from. So what might be some signs that you have been abandoning yourself? Like, you may already know that from listening so far, but some relatable symptoms might be that you have no hobbies, or you can't even remember what it is you enjoy. You have low-level resentment, like resentment for your partner having their own hobbies or your kids having their own hobbies. You feel on edge even when you've got a plan. You end up scrolling instead of nurturing yourself. You rush through the day and feel like you've achieved nothing. Maybe you don't know how to rest without guilt. Perhaps you avoid slowing down because emotions come up. Like, maybe you're pushing those emotions away. And maybe you look after everybody else but feel disconnected from yourself. These aren't just your personality. These aren't just who you are. This is a protective, subconscious pattern. And unfortunately, you can't schedule your way out of a belief that says you come last. Organisation tools are not going to fix the problem. Your productivity isn't going to heal those deep wounds that you've got, how you felt when you had to put everybody first. So what you actually or what I would like you to do, is start giving yourself permission to allow yourself to matter in your own life. So some practical steps we can take right now. And I'd like you to choose one thing every week that is just for you. So choose something that lights you up, even if it's just for 10 minutes. If you have a Google Calendar, if you do try to organise your time through a Google Calendar, then add yourself to it. Again, even if it's just for 10 minutes once a week, that's a great start. And ask yourself this question daily if you can. But what do I need today that isn't on my to-do list? Not what do I need to do today that isn't on my to-do list? What do I need that isn't on my to-do list? And these steps, they might seem really simple, but if you do those, if you make a conscious effort to do those, then you will start to rewire your subconscious into believing that you matter. We just need to do this consistently and be aware that we're actually not prioritising ourselves. That's where it all begins. But if this resonates, I would love to invite you to think about having a one-to-one session with me. If you want to find out why whatever you try, you cannot put yourself first, come and have a chat with me, because this is the work that I do with my clients. It's not just putting systems into place, it's identifying those inner beliefs that stop you prioritising yourself. So if you feel like you are always managing life or living for other people, I would love to support you. So head to my website, book a call with me. I offer a free 30-minute discovery call where I can talk to you about the process. And even in that 30 minutes, you might start to uncover why we put everybody else first. But just before we go, I just want to remind you that you are not broken. You are not lazy. You are not disorganised. You are overwhelmed because you've spent years being everything for everybody else. You deserve to take up space in your own life again. You deserve rest. You deserve moments that light you up just for you. And once you start giving yourself that, I promise you, life gets so much easier and enjoyable. Okay, thank you for joining me today. I really hope this has resonated. I cannot wait to hear from you. But I will see you next week. Don't forget to share this episode with anybody who needs to hear it, which is probably a lot of people, if we're being honest. But I will see you next week. Bye. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love it if you could take a moment to subscribe, rate, and if you're listening on Apple, as 95% of you do, review. It really helps the podcast reach more people who are ready to shift their mindset and raise their vibration. And if you know someone who would benefit from today's episode, feel free to share it with them. Until next time, keep loving life and know that I'm sending you so much love. Just before we go, if you've been listening for a while, then you'll know that every year I do the magic. The magic is a 28-day gratitude process that literally helps you live your life in a state of gratitude, raising your vibration, making you become more magnetic to your desires. So this year I am starting the magic on the 1st of November. And for those who would like to join me, I have set up a WhatsApp community where we can share our experiences. I will read out the pages for the day if you haven't got the book. And if you're anything like me, you can always mute the WhatsApp group so you're not getting the notifications buzzing all the time. I'd love to see you over there with me. Check the link in the show notes and come on over.